One of the greatest things that came out of the COVID era was the court Zoom hearings, and they've been all over YouTube. If you haven't looked around, there's plenty to choose from, and there's some short form ones, there's long form ones, meaning that you can catch some that are just a few minutes in length, or you can find compilations of the craziest moments of these court Zoom hearings, or you can watch the full hearings, which in some cases can be hours long. So I found one in particular that I found to be pretty interesting that I'll give a watch here. And let's get started with it.
We're going to go on the record in your case. We're scheduled for sentencing.
That's the defendant down here
This is state
from
of
the Greenwood County
Kansas
Jail.
versus, is it Sirs?
It's Karis.
Karis.
Yeah.
Karis.
Well, doesn't she look like the
Janu?
handful?
Juno Green.
Juno. Like
Juno
Alaska.
Green.
Yeah.
Juno Green. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right. Your case number
So it looks like
is
she's
Greenwood
got
County District Court,
the
case number
jumpsuit on.
122 CR 136.
She's obviously in police
State
custody.
appears by and through Ms. Shirley.
Plus, it also
who
has
is
jail there,
covering
which
for Ms.
kind of might
Gillette,
be
the Greenwood
somewhat of a
County
dead
attorney.
giveaway.
Also
I'm assuming
appearing
these
is
are
your attorney,
counsel of
Mr.
sorts.
Ambrose,
She
for
definitely
purposes
looks like
of
the clerk.
sentencing. It looks like you've been scored
Or
at
maybe
a criminal
the
history
court
score of
librarian.
G, which
There's a librarian in
is-
court, right? Every court
I
has a
will ask
librarian.
Mr. Ambrose, have you had a chance to review the PSI with your
I noticed that
client?
she's got a face tattoo.
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
to the fellas out there, don't make babies with a woman with a face tattoo. I mean, you can hit it, but you better bag it. Spathon, how dare you? No, like, I'm sure, look, it's probably spectacular behind closed doors with a cowboy hat on the doorknob and everything. But that being said, the face tattoos, they tend to be worn by the strong and independent variety. Don't need a man. They'll stick with you until I'm bored. I don't feel the love anymore. Divorced. But, I mean, yeah. And if that happens, you're the weekend dad. And God only knows the types of men who are going to be around your kids from that point on. When you're not around, who knows? I mean, I can only imagine. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, continue.
We talked about it. Yes, we've talked
You
about
just
it, Judge,
never
and it
know.
Came out
You
just
never
how we were
know.
planning on
A lot of
it.
crazies out there.
Everything looks- so.
Okay. Looks like
I'm
out
sure
of
they're a lot of
Bainbridge,
fun in the
Alaska,
short
there
term.
is a
She's probably a blast in the short term.
vehicle theft that was a
Probably not for
felony
the long
in
haul.
2019.
Correct, Judge.
I mean,
The
she is
rest
in
are
jail,
misdemeanors.
so
There's quite a
I
few
mean, my
misdemeanors,
stereotype's
but
kind of
the rest are
correct,
misdemeanors.
at least in this instance.
She's being sentenced on a simple possession of methamphetamine. That
Sorry,
is a level
my
5
bad to the
drug
straight edge,
felony.
face tattooed women out there.
So the
Mad
sentencing
respect.
range is 14 to 16 months with a 15-month mid-range. This case is presumptive probation. Unfortunately, she's not Senate bill eligible because she is reportedly an out-of-state resident. I thought it was Washington, not Alaska, but it looks like it's Bellevue, Washington.
Well, hell, she's all over
I
the
thought there
place.
was some
I think they're in
comment
Kansas right
evaluation.
now.
She had a mother or some relative here in Kansas.
Here in Kansas. They're in
No,
Kansas.
Judge, her mom lives in Alaska.
I kind of
Okay.
skimmed over this,
Miss
and
Green
I
had
actually
lived
watched
up in
this,
Alaska until
I don't know, maybe 6
sounds
months
about
ago
just
or
right
so.
before COVID, and then
I just happened to
she found
stumble
her
on
way
it
down to
again.
the lower 48.
All right. Well, it is unfortunate that she can't get the benefit of
She definitely looks like she's
Senate
sitting
bill
at a
treatment here in
detective's desk.
Kansas. She
The whole
is
whiteboard
a
back there. All they're missing is the
total
red
score of
strings
40.
going around all over the
That's one
place.
of the highest scores I've seen.
I got
in
the
terms of
bulletin board
risk
there.
assessment. And she's also
They had to remove
pretty
all the
high as
organized
it
crime
relates
photos.
to the
You know, it's all top
probability
secret and all.
of drug dependency. So she
Dude,
would
this judge looks
qualify
like
for
she hadn't
Senate
slept in
bill,
a year.
but because she doesn't have a Kansas residency, she doesn't. Which
She's
is
definitely not wearing a mask in the
disappointing. But at
grocery
any
store.
rate, are you ready to proceed to
She ain't having any
sentencing?
of that.
Yes.
Matter of fact,
Yeah.
nobody.
Right.
None of
Mr.
them are wearing a
Ambrose,
mask.
are you
Maybe this
ready?
is after the whole,
Yes, Your Honor.
COVID
Okay.
nonsense.
All right. Recommendations then from the state.
Let's have it.
I believe
What's going on
pursuant to
here?
the plea negotiations that the state would be recommending standard sentence of 15 months be imposed. She is presumptive probation. the issues, obviously, the post-release and probation durations are both 12 months. We have restitution to the KBI lab in the amount of $400. Additionally, we have court costs,
that
attorney's
drug testing?
fees. The
Well, I guess she's not the
DNA
clerk then.
database fee is $200. I believe there's a booking fee. I am, and this is the assignment.
She definitely
recommended
doesn't
is
look like a
community
prosecutor.
corrections, which is absolutely appropriate to make sure
Oh,
that
where
she
you going,
completes
lady?
the treatment recommendations. They want an inpatient followed by an intensive outpatient
Ooh,
based upon
inpatient
the
rehab, huh?
recommendations from the testing. And it sounds like this young
The
lady
face
is
tattoo
in dire
and
need
drugs.
of those services. I don't
That
know
is
what
not
her
good.
intent is when she is
And
sentenced,
crisscrossing the
how
United
soon she's
States.
going to get out or where she's going to
Alaska,
go. But
Washington, now she's in
that's a lot
Kansas
of money
somehow.
and time that she's going to have to spend to comply with terms and conditions. And I don't know if this is going to be transferable to another state. Those would be my only concerns. Beyond that, she is presumptive probation, but I do hope that she gets all the treatment that she
Dude's giving me Johnny Depp
so
vibes.
desperately needs.
If he were a lawyer from Kansas.
Yeah, I guess that's one thought I had, but before I enter all these orders, Mr. Ambrose, how
There's
is
Rosie
your client
O'Donnell.
going to physically get from Kansas back to Washington?
So my understanding, and Miss Green can correct me if I'm wrong, is that she will actually have someone waiting for her today, I believe, to get her and get her up there. Now, that being said, I think that can't promise this, but I should have at least warned that if we're doing interstate compact, there's going to be there could be a slight delay that we're going to have to take care of before she can go very far.
Maybe Sarah Palin.
However, our plan,
I don't know. They said Alaska, whatever.
would be to request interstate compact to Washington, with the understanding that all the current obligations still stand, and she's going to have to work with her probation officer up there to get that stuff taken care of. Unfortunately, I think Miss Green has made us all a little bit famous. Because of some notoriety that this case has carried with it. However,
so this must not be the first one then.
She has.
Okay, maybe I'm catching it in the middle here.
She understands that she's in a spot where
she made him famous.
Is very young and was involved in
She's
some
naive.
very foolish and stupid behavior.
Ooh.
And that she needs to get
Of course,
help.
none of it's her
And I
fault,
think,
though.
frankly, her co-defendant passed away of an overdose.
No,
Oh, no.
Who was it then? I'm sorry.
he
No, he
didn't
just-
pass away of an overdose.
Okay, sorry.
Oh,
Co-defendant passed away. all the
Only
same.
for a few minutes.
And I think that
Thank God Narcan was there. Narcan
Sure.
came to save the day.
Miss Green quite a bit.
Well, by the grace of God, he was spared.
And she's heard similarly the same warnings from me that frankly, we're in a spot where street dogs have gotten really dangerous really fast in a way that they haven't been until recently.
Yeah, fentanyl. It's no joke. You could
she
thank China
understands
for that
her
one.
need for
The
treatment,
CCP.
And
They're manufacturing that
anticipate
shit
she's gonna be
inside the country
successful
now.
on that, because frankly, she's had 127 days that she's been in custody. This
Most of the stuff
time
they're shipping is just the
to,
precursor material.
Think about her life, which for someone so young who has never seen these kind of consequences for her actions before is
Yeah, consequences
jarring.
actually do exist.
Would note that she does have 134 days total time served. My bill is going to be about $800 by the time we're done.
Such as the face
I
tattoo.
would ask the court to make
Not going to be very easy to get a
consideration with
high-powered
that,
job at the face
in
tattoo.
that she is going to be responsible for a whole lot of treatment stuff on her own, and even if she
Not to say you can't get a good
has
job with a
some
face
coverage for
tattoo.
that, there's going to be
You start your own
costs
business and be a
associated with that, and
multimillionaire.
frankly, her ability
It's what a lot of
to
felons end
engage
up
in
doing.
meaningful employment
A lot of
for
them don't have
while
any
after
other
she's
choice.
gets out. It's going
Start
to be
your own
limited
business.
because,
Grind your
as
ass
I think
off.
all of us know, is the treatment obligations are so intense at first that her ability to be able to work full time is just going to be not there. That being
Okay.
said, I have noticed a substantial shift in Miss Green's attitude as we've worked through this case, and I'm hopeful that she's going to be able to get out and go down the path she needs to, because she is very young to be burying her life in a non-meaningful way.
Okay. Well, I guess what I saw
Yeah.
on the
I
last
don't know.
page
Only time will
of
tell.
Lisa Gray's evaluation, and
Those
a new
opioids,
journey
man,
is that she doesn't have a stable home at
they'll
this
get a
time in
stranglehold on you
Kansas,
for
and
life.
they were referencing mom and mom's boyfriend, and so that led me to some confusion. But it's very clear after reading this that her family is in another state, fairly far away.
Yep.
All right.
Well, her mom's in Alaska.
Ms. Green, is there anything that you want to say before I impose your sentence?
No, Your Honor.
Yeah, let's go. Let's hear it.
The actually
Oh no, but yes,
the
but no. Oh,
the
okay.
assessment did assess me at an intensive outpatient.
Oh, really? Look at
She
her over
did
here. She was like,
originally say
oh,
intensive
really?
inpatient, but then I was talking with her, and then she was like, she was fine with intensive.
I almost want to
like,
go back just to see her
intensive
reaction again.
outpatient. But yeah, but it's okay.
Oh no, you're going
think-
inpatient, lady.
That's all.
It sounds like your life has been an absolute train wreck.
Well, I can't really go with what she tells you. I have to go with what she's
Yeah, outpatient
written.
just leaves the door a little too wide open
And that
for
is that you could
opportunities.
go to a intermediate residential treatment, and inpatient, and then go to level 1 outpatient.
All right, who's gonna pay for that?
And 12-step, which you've done in Alaska apparently before. And
How did that work for you? Yeah, good point. Caption 24
so
steps.
that's what they'll be directed to put in the journal entry, and then when you sign a release and community corrections takes over your case, they can recontact the evaluator and see. But it sounds like your situation is serious enough with intravenous drug use, as I recall, that
Yikes.
you're high enough risk that you probably should start with inpatient and graduate from that and then move to outpatient. So
Yeah, I would think that would
um,
probably be the better of the two options.
I believe
Why do you wanna do outpatient so
expressed that
badly?
You were going through.
You already have a job lined up or
Kansas, headed
something?
Somewhere for some funerals, and then there's been mention of overdoses. So
I mean, look, you think that if you were trying to avoid inpatient, that you really don't want to get clean that badly. Well, I mean, she's probably clean. She's been in jail for a while, I imagine. But I mean, for the long term, I would think, especially being hooked on opiates or opioids, that you would want to be inpatient for a pretty good period of time, because that addiction will stick with you for at least a year after you're clean before you start to feel just a little bit of normalcy day to day, like you're sleeping 8 hours or you're getting a decent amount of sleep each night, and you're not thinking about getting high at least 2 or 3 times a day. I mean, it takes a while. Physically, those physical withdrawal symptoms, they'll subside after probably a month, I would say. And then that's when the long mental anguish just really hangs for months and months and months. And it takes a long time. But being inpatient constantly, just being surrounded by people who are getting through it with you, and I don't know, just trying to keep your mind off of it and just being isolated away from society. Because if you're outpatient, when you leave, you're on your own more or less. I mean, I'm sure she'd be under supervision. She'll be getting drug tested and all that, but all it takes is just one offhand opportunity. And I mean, if you want it bad enough, you're going to go find it. Even if that urge just creeps up on you out of nowhere, it could just hit you just out of just complete nowhere. And all of a sudden you just want it really bad. And one bad decision turns into another one. And the next thing you find out, you're right back in this situation again
I don't think I need to
with
lecture you
even more serious consequences.
on what happens to serious and chronic drug abusers. They end up in jail or in the morgue. It's pretty much that simple.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, like, to be fair, they didn't say exactly what drugs that she's on. They just said intravenous. and her whatever that person, guy or whoever that they were talking about that OD'd and this dude thought died. I'm assuming it's probably fentanyl, I'm guessing, or some sort of opioid. But I guess it could be maybe coke or meth or whatever. It's just most people aren't really shooting that stuff up. Not to say that nobody does, because they do. But if I were to put my money on it,
I
she's
have to
probably
impose
on
a
opioids.
Department of Corrections sentence, and I will, of 15 months. There is no fine since this crime was not
Like, comment, sub,
financially
share.
motivated.
Old Squishy Gardeners. Court watch.
You do have what I do.
I thought I
is a
was
pretty
subscribed to that already.
significant
I've seen a
record
bunch
for
of their
your
videos
age,
already. Well, I am now.
including a felony.
And you should too.
Um,
Get them up to
you
200K.
also, as I indicated, I'm not sure.
I think they were actually under 100K when I first
I'm
found
sure
their
I have,
stuff.
but
I started watching courtroom
pretty
stuff like
rare.
around
so
probably
you're pretty high on the
2022,
risk
somewhere around there.
assessment, which concerns me about your ability to complete probation. However, you are presumptive probation, and I will grant the same to you. I am allowed to give you up to 60 additional days in the county jail as a condition to this felony probation.
You gonna give it to her?
I think what I'd like to do is order you to remain in the county jail until
The
your
extradition?
interstate compact is approved.
Yeah. Where did they say? To Washington? Yeah, Washington.
I will tell you that my understanding is
She
since you
really
were
wants to get out of
traveling
jail, I
through
bet.
Kansas, and you are an actual resident, apparently, of Washington, you get preference over someone who's living in Kansas that has a relative in Washington and just wants to go to Washington for a fresh start. So
Yeah, I doubt
people
there's
who
not a
are
fresh start they're
residents,
waiting for.
are expedited through
She is not going to
compact.
stay clean. I can just
I
tell.
don't know how quickly
She's
that
really
will
not.
be,
I mean, I
but,
know jail sucks and all.
hopefully,
I just got a
by the end
feeling.
of the week.
I hope I'm wrong
Your
though.
Honor, if I may
I mean, I really
interject
do. I
briefly.
really hope
Yes.
she really
We don't
straighten her
believe that
situation
she will
out.
be approved for immediate transfer to interstate compact just because she's not a resident of.
Hopefully she gets that crap removed
Washington
off her
before
face.
the
That's going to
case.
cost thousands too.
So she'll have to remain in Kansas up to 45 days until her interstate compact can be approved.
Yeah, no shit,
So
dude.
what does
Having
her
your probation
driver's
moved to another
license and her
state,
record show
that
she
can't be an
is a
easy feat.
resident of Alaska?
Your
Just-
Honor, if I may speak, is that okay?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
she-
besides, wouldn't they have to communicate with the other state and get the other state to approve to take on that probation? Because, I mean, if she's, what's the word for that? Indigent or whatever, like where she's not working, she has no income, no money. And if she's put on probation, that means the state is going to have to eat up some of those costs. I mean, I know that they'll make her pay for certain things like classes and stuff and probably drug tests and whatnot. But I mean, it would really also have to depend on whether if the state would be willing to accept her probation. I mean, I guess don't take it from me because I'm honestly don't know. I'm just kind of thinking out loud.
Is a resident of Alaska.
Not so sure if that's really.
However, on the PSI, she
I mean,
had plans to
obviously
move
it's
to
on. It's
Washington
potentially on the
State.
table, or else they wouldn't suggest
So
it.
I put that as where she was going to go. She had no plan to move back to Alaska unless the Washington situation fell through.
And I believe the Washington address is a boyfriend that she had met online.
Well,
Oh,
where does your mom live?
yeah, Alaska. She really shouldn't be going to
Palmer.
Washington.
Palmer, where?
Alaska.
Okay, Palmer, Alaska. Let me do this. Let's see where Palmer is, because I've never heard of Palmer, Alaska. Is it in an urban area where she would have easy access to drugs? Or is it out in the middle of effing nowhere? Because if it's out in the middle of nowhere, that's probably exactly where she should be. Yeah, dude, that's in the middle of freaking nowhere. I mean, yeah, you got Anchorage in sort of the vicinity, but I mean, looking at the scale, I mean, that's got to be like, what, 60 miles away, give or take. And, but, I mean, it looks quite isolated to me. And that seems like, I mean, it's a decent town. I'm sure there's probably drugs there. I mean, it is Alaska after all. I mean, I'm sure there's not a whole lot to do up there besides, I don't know, work in the great outdoors and, hike your ass off and maybe do drugs. But what do I know? I've never been to Alaska, but that is, I mean, it looks isolated enough to me. And that's not where her boyfriend is that she met online or wherever the hell she met him from. And yeah, I don't know. Just call me crazy, but probably being in the care of her mom might be a good place to be. But who knows? Maybe her mom's got a record. Maybe her mom is not the best influence. I mean, there's a lot of moms out there who really aren't the best influence on their kids.
That's
So
where I think you should go back to.
right. Yes. Send her back to Alaska. She's shaking her head. She does not want that.
I actually have an itinerary.
Oh, well,
to
you
go
can
to
just, oh, okay. Well, you can just kiss all that goodbye. I actually have a plan for myself, Your Honor. I do what I want, like I don't really follow the rules of anybody else. I'm strong and independent.
Like I'm on the lease.
I'm on like the straight and narrow.
And the plan, because I was unaware about the whole interstate compact thing. I wasn't really told about that there would be a delay about that and that. So
Do you expect to be there tomorrow?
My boyfriend flew down into Wichita today. He
Oh
landed
my
at
God.
1:13.
What the
He's
fuck is the
staying at the
matter with
Hyatt,
her?
And then
Are you kidding? Look at her face.
I had sentencing
She's like, you gotta be shitting
tomorrow.
me.
Was planning on getting, I thought the plan was to get out that day. And then I have a plane ticket to Seattle on.
Oh my God, she's got to be kidding. She had her boyfriend fly in from Washington because she just assumed that she would just get bonded out or something. I bet he even brought bail money too. She would just get bonded out. And then what? She'd just hop on a plane and just head back to Washington and everything's just fine. This is crazy, man.
On the 18th, I fly to Seattle.
Well, that's probably not going to happen. She said I am flying on
With
the
him.
18th. What is it? Come hell or high water?
If he brought a lease, he can produce a lease, and you are living with him or been living with him. Hopefully, Washington State will accept that and consider you a resident. But I don't know. But you need to stay in custody.
Good point
until
too. She
you
probably
get
isn't even on the
approved
lease.
Compact, because you apparently don't want to go to
Lying under oath.
Alaska, which is fine. But if you're going to Washington State, we have to get approval from them, and then
I mean,
you
Alaska's
can
exactly
be
where she needs to go.
released to go. It's kind of that simple. You can't go to Washington without permission from them. So
Right, that's what I thought.
I can't keep you.
I mean,
past
they're gonna have
60 days, so I have to release you at 60 days.
Okay.
And you'll just have to figure out how to stay in Kansas.
God, she is
until,
pouting hard, man.
I mean, if you're not
I wonder, her boyfriend must have a job or something. Like he's probably not able to stay there for more than just like a quick weekend or something. And he's got to get back because he's got other shit going on. And she's probably just now thinking that like, oh my God, if I don't get out of here, he's going to fly back and he can't afford to fly back here again. And because he's probably barely scraping by. And like I said, I don't think she's going to stay clean at all. I think she's going stir crazy, not just because she's in jail, but because she's gone X amount of days without getting high. And her boyfriend coming back to Kansas to pick her up and take her back to Washington. I'm sure she's just envisioning all of it. And she's almost getting high just on the thought of it, just getting back and then just getting able to get back into her old ways, and she'll just fly more carefully under the radar this time. But
compacted 60 days, I need to be notified. I can't imagine why you can't be compacted by then. And then I'm going to request that not only does community corrections start the paperwork for compact, but they also figure out what county you're in, get a hold of
and the proof.
Supervisor or director of community corrections there.
And let's see that
Visit with
lease
them about where you're going to be
with your name on
living
it.
and
Right.
what they can offer in the way of assistance for treatment to get you into treatment once you get there.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm going
Yep.
to order that you abide by the recommendations of the evaluation that we currently have. And if there's a request for modification of that by your probation officer, I'll be happy to sign off on that once you get up there and find out what you qualify for. I forget what you told the evaluator. Does your boyfriend use?
Oh, of course he does. Of course he does. Are you kidding? See, even
You're
she
gonna
doesn't
have
buy
to
that.
Provide information, of course, background information about him and all of
And
that.
you know he
So,
doesn't either.
Yeah.
all right. So your controlling sentence is 15 months. You're placed on probation with community
I
corrections.
mean, he's
for
probably the one who got her
12
hooked on it in the
months.
first place.
You are authorized to be released from the custody of the county jail after 60 days, but earlier when the compact occurs.
Wow.
I find that your criminal history scored G.
I'm just any second now. She's probably going to just start bawling because she just dropped that bomb to her that you're not going to see your boyfriend this weekend. He flew in for pretty much no reason. He could probably visit you in jail for like a quick 5-10 minutes behind glass or whatever, but you're not leaving with your boyfriend. That ticket's wasted. Maybe he can get some credit and, put it on the back burner until you get this whole compact thing taken care of, because they're not going to get that taken care of, at least probably not at least in a week or two. I mean, communicating like a state communicating with another state isn't something that exactly happens overnight. I mean, they've got their own stuff going on within their own state. And I mean, like whenever a prisoner commits a crime and they flee the state and they get arrested in another state and they're being held by that state, I mean, that could take weeks and weeks before all the paperwork's all signed off and they actually send agents from the state where they committed the crime. They have to fly in or possibly drive in to pick them up and send them back. So they've got to get the funds cleared for all that. And I mean, it's a time consuming process. Not that that's happening with her. She's not having any people coming to pick her up. Exactly. She's going to be released on her own to go back up there. But yeah, they got to have this compact sorted out first and get it signed. And I mean, it's not just one thing. She just said a list of things that have to be set up and ready to go before that compact is completed. So yeah, she could be in
I
jail
give you
for
credit
pretty
on
close
the
to 60
15-month
days.
Sentence of 134 days and any other days that you spend. So if you spend 6 more days in custody, you'll get 6 more days. Whatever you accumulate between
Like time served.
Now and getting compacted. And I know that you are frustrated, but I was never asked about compact with you, nor did anybody ever apprise me. Generally, that's something that an attorney talks to you about. And I'm sure Mr. Ambrose, he appears to be quite aware of interstate compact visited. I'm not going to allow you to go to a hotel in Greenwood County and sit there for 30 days. And I can't allow you to get on a plane and go back to Washington. The state
Nope.
gets fined millions of dollars. And what's more, we can't ethically or legally violate interstate compact. And if you lived in Kansas and you committed the same crime in Washington, it'd be the same situation. So it applies to everybody across the board. But I'm certainly going to let you go back to that state. But that's
Just not right
sort
now.
of the risk you run when you're involved in activities and drug use that results
Just
in
running
a
roughshod
felony
all over the
charge
country.
someplace that you're not even from or familiar with. And so
I mean, how the hell did she end
sorry.
up in Kansas?
I just thought
but
it was part of my deal. Like it was part of my deal, like from the very beginning. Is that
if I didn't
I
tell
just
you
thought I'd get what I
when you
wanted.
pled that something was part of your deal, it wasn't part of your deal.
Yeah, it's not. It's not your
So
court.
I understand your
Judges like
I
this is my
understand your
house, not yours.
frustration, but you're safe where you're at. And
And you're
don't
addicted
wanna
to
keep
drugs,
you in
lady.
jail any longer.
We all know why
than
you
we
want to
have
get out so badly.
I just want to make sure there's no issues or snags that develop.
Bad and
And I don't think
bad
hanging out in the
influences.
motel room
Oh yeah,
at a Motel 6
yeah. We all know
in
what goes down in the
Eureka
Motel
is,
6, don't we?
you know, the answer for you just to be released without any.
Could I do it in Wichita?
No.
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 Hell no.
So, and
You have any
again,
idea
I
how many
ordered those
drugs
to
are
allow
out there in
people to
Wichita?
remain in custody until they get straight to inpatient, or in this case,
Freaking Sodom and
compact.
Gomorrah out there.
So you have 12 months of
No, you're
post
just gonna
release,
stay
which
put
I'm
for a
supposed
while.
to assess now as parole, but you won't be on parole if you complete your probation and your treatment
Yeah.
successfully. If you don't, there'll be a warrant issued for you and you'll be extradited back to Kansas
Oh ho.
until you finish up your sentence.
Yep, then you'll be in deep trouble.
I don't want that again to happen.
Me either.
Nope.
So
So you
I
better
wanted
play by
you
the
to
rules.
Put this behind you.
I mean, I
And I'm
do
also
kind of
supposed to
feel bad for her a
assess,
little bit
good
because,
time
you know,
credit,
nobody
which
wants to
is
sit in
20%.
freaking jail.
Definitely you want your jail credit. I'm also supposed to assess $400 in
But
KBL.
still, I mean, it's almost comical that she would just be on the, because I would like to hear that conversation she had with her boyfriend. Like, oh yeah, I'm totally getting out in like 2 days. I mean, like my lawyer, he already promised me. I mean, who knows what she told him, but she told him enough of an earful to get him to buy 2 plane tickets, one-way ticket and then a round trip ticket for himself. And he's flying halfway across the country to go pick her up from jail, basically. I mean, I don't know why she thought that was going to work out.
I'm going to assess the $200 DNA fee because I want to make sure that we have a swab before you go, because I have no idea
Aha.
whether Alaska did that or not. Most importantly, I don't know if they put it in CODIS, which is a national database.
Oh, okay. So they
It
want her
needs to be in
DNA.
there. Then there are supervision fees.
Man, she's kind of freaking out.
And an assessment fee of $175.
It's like the news is just coming to her in waves.
I will waive attorney's fees. I think Mr. Ambrose has probably put a considerable amount of time, to the tune of probably almost several $1,000s into this case. But I can't find that you have the current funds or ability to produce income to repay those fees.
Yeah, probably not. Why don't you just ask her? Ask her if she's got money.
To appeal this decision and your sentence. You can petition after you've completed probation. After 2 years, by the third
2
year,
years.
you can apply and petition for expungement of this record in
You think she'll last 2 years?
You are allowed to do that, but you have to remain drug alcohol free and not violate the law.
I understand.
Okay,
All right.
I believe that you have the ability to follow direction and probation, but they will go over your conditions. Again, no possession or consumption of alcohol or drugs.
Yep, should go
They're gonna
without
give you
saying.
random breath, blood, and urinalysis testing to ensure
Random.
your compliance. I am waiving community service. I do want you, once you
Really?
finish treatment, to obtain employment. I do think a residential program, women's recovery program would be very good for you,
Yep.
but I don't know
Inpatient,
what's available in Bellevue.
not outpatient.
And so I'm not gonna order that at this point. You need to report as directed and provide contact information. They may give you curfew restrictions. You always have travel restrictions.
Yep.
Anyone who's on felony probation, it's like interstate compact. You have to get a travel permit to go to even a neighboring state.
Right.
Follow all your recommendations.
Especially being on probation.
They'll set up monthly payments with you. And I think that's it.
Well, that's
Anything
it.
I've missed or anything further?
You want the kitchen
Counsel?
sink too?
I think you covered it, Judge.
All
Yep.
right. Ms.
I think
Shirley?
that was
Yes, Your Honor.
was
the
quite thorough.
firearms restrictions. Did you
Yes,
get that?
Thank you. Thank you.
But you ruined my
Okay,
weekend, Your
so
Honor.
once you're convicted
What's
of
my
a
boyfriend
felony
gonna
in this
do?
state, you are
He's gonna go find himself
prohibited
another
to
girlfriend.
possess
That's what he's gonna do.
firearms. You're also, while you're on probation, prohibited from possessing dangerous weapons. But your firearm restriction lasts in the state of Kansas for at least 5 to 7 years.
Damn.
Okay. Do you have any questions
Yep.
about that?
No guns.
All right.
So, Your Honor, with regard to the evaluation, drug evaluation does say inpatient, but you want me to specifically state it's not ordered at this time, as no information about the availability
Well,
programs.
I didn't order into
Give the channel a like.
recovery,
Or no, subscribe.
residential
Don't
recovery.
forget to like.
But I think the order, the recommendation is initially inpatient and then level 1 outpatient. So
Level 1.
I at least want that. If you want to just put abide by substance abuse evaluation, that's fine. What I'm telling community corrections is if they look at the evaluation, it doesn't seem to be clear to them, or it's not available in Bellevue, then the community corrections
FML had a
officer
face.
should be in contact with
Just
the
wait till she looks
evaluator.
down again.
See
Yeah,
if
there
she
you go.
needs a
There's
new
FML
substance
right
abuse
there.
evaluation up there, or if the evaluator here agrees or would modify.
I hope she's
But
clean
we
today.
gotta have that modification in writing. It can't be Mr.
Was
Ambrose
this a year
because
ago?
the evaluator told her something.
Soft said. Oh, did she play the Sovereign
Absolutely.
Citizen game too? That would
Okay.
that would not in the least surprise me.
Anything else?
It's
think
Issaquah,
that's all.
Washington.
Pardon?
Issaquah.
Issaquah.
It says Bellevue, but the lease was up for my boyfriend and he moved to Issaquah. Or we did.
Okay. And
See, she is not on any lease, man. She's just following her boyfriend around. If he's even really her boyfriend, I mean, maybe boyfriend or like slash dealer or slash who knows what, maybe her pimp or something. I really doubt that she was on. I mean, look, if he moved out, especially while she was in Kansas, and then he moved to another place in Issaquah or whatever, how was she on the lease if she wasn't there when he moved? I don't know. Sounds like she's
Issaquah
kind of full of
is
it, in my
in
opinion.
Washington State.
Yeah, it's like right.
Is it
Right.
the same county?
I'm not really familiar with counties.
I'm checking right now, Judge. I think it is.
I
Okay.
mean, I know the area code is just 20 numbers off, so it's like it's 980027.
What? 980027. Area codes are 3 digits, and zip codes are 5 digits. I know Canada, they've got 6-digit zip codes, not area codes, but I think their zip codes have letters. I don't know. They're really stupid up there with their zip codes, and the same with the UK. I don't know what the hell she's talking about with this whole
Yeah, they're both in the same county, Judge. I just checked. That's what I thought.
Okay.
like 20 numbers
that
off.
shouldn't be a
You got me.
Okay.
thank you though.
You're welcome.
Again, it would be really helpful if he has documents to get those to Miss Ashton Felter so that she can show there's a lease and that you're identified.
Yeah,
with
that's
that
not happening.
person, and they're
And-
not a convicted felon or, on
Yeah, that's
felony
also not
probation
happening.
And can get that going.
Where's that at?
I mean, I
Where's
can only
what at?
imagine what her boyfriend looks
You
like.
said-
Correct.
Okay. Like here in
He probably
Kansas?
doesn't keep extremely
Yes.
accurate records
Okay.
in like
Are
a little
you at
file
your
box.
office right now, Miss Ashton Felter?
Yes, Your Honor. I was.
But maybe
wondering
he
if I could
does. What do I
breakout
know?
Room with her afterwards, and I think we're gonna have an.
Maybe he
officer
wears a
come see
suit and
her at the
tie
jail
when he goes to
tomorrow.
work.
Okay, perfect.
Works for Microsoft.
They'll give you instructions and address and guidance, okay?
Okay. Because
All right.
Okay, whatever.
Mr. Ambrose, maybe
You just ruined
can,
my life.
before you submit your bill, maybe you could spend a few more hours checking on her and her status on the interstate compact and make sure that she gets off.
Yep.
Or there's not any hiccups. If there is,
You know, I know they can't do it, but I would be really, it would be quite entertaining if the judge like ordered, which I don't think they would have any authority to do this, but it'd be interesting if they could somehow coordinate like a police task force or even just a couple of officers to show up to wherever this boyfriend is just to see if he's got drugs on him. Cause I just have a strong feeling that he's probably got some dope with him. They've probably, who knows what, I mean, like they were probably ready to party, get their freak on, and then just head out of the state after I don't know, a day or two, just get the hell out of Kansas, just lay low, just keep living the way she wanted to be living, and, you know, kind of leave all those consequences in the dust.
Please contact my office for a hearing.
Yes, Judge, we can do that.
Okay,
Can I
thank
get a
you.
breakout room with my attorney before?
Yes. Yeah, and you
He's
have
like,
14
"Why? I don't
days
wanna talk to
file
you."
an appeal. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.
All
Or I'm
right.
leaving.
Well, that's that. That is the end of that hearing. Now, so they mentioned there's a sentencing, so there was most likely a hearing before that. I didn't see it, but apparently there probably was one. But yeah, it's definitely a good channel. They've got a lot of these court Zoom hearings, tons of them. And there's Judge Simpson. I always forget that dude's name. I think he's in Michigan, I believe, too. So is Judge Simpson. He's out of Detroit. I can't remember where he's from. But that dude's from Texas. I'm bad with names, but she's out of Kansas. That's Judge Webster. She's a good judge. Yeah, she kind of reminds me of that oh hell, what's the name of that lady in the movie Monsters Inc? The one that's like, you didn't, whatever the hell she said. I can't remember what the hell she even said in the movie, but yeah, she kind of looks like that creature, Monsters Inc. Like you didn't finish your report or whatever, but I don't know. Anyway, yep, good channel, good hearing, good times. You know, it's always enjoyable to watch one of those court Zoom hearings. I'm sure I'll be watching more of them. I mean, there's so many out there to watch, and they're fun, entertaining for the most part. It's, you know, something to pass the time. And that's all I got. So see you later.